So today we're speaking to Daniel and JEENAL from Wise Living Yoga, who are in Chiang Mai at the moment, I believe, yes?
Yes, correct.
Cool.
Namaste, Nikki.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Nice to see you. We've just been chatting. It's been 6 years, 5-6 years since we saw you, yeah?
Yes, correct. Nice seeing you again.
Yeah. Just first of all, I just wanted to talk about you two, and if you could tell us like how your own personal journey with yoga and how you came to be teachers and how you came to be running Wise Living Yoga today.
Okay. You want to talk to you first?
Well, I and Daniel met each other in Mumbai, and I had a background of yoga because I studied and practiced yoga since childhood. And there in the Yoga Institute in Mumbai, Daniel was my classmate. Oh, okay. He came all the way from Brazil to India to learn yoga. And it was a journey together, studying, learning yoga in the Yoga Institute in Mumbai. This was in 2006. Okay. And then things naturally, went ahead in a very positive way, nice way. We came to Chiang Mai in 2010, and that was to learn the massage course. And that's when we loved Chiang Mai. We fell in love with the city, Chiang Mai, with the people, and everything fell in place. And that's how we also found this ashram, Wise Living Yoga Academy, which is now based in Doi Sakit, a very beautiful town, a little bit away from the airport of Chiang Mai. Okay. And over here now we have this beautiful place, a beautiful ashram with a nice garden. And we live here like a family with all the students, with our staff. So it's quite an international ashram with a lot of different people all living together. Okay, amazing. So in brief, this is our yoga journey. And now it's 2018,
yeah, only just, yeah. Have you got a yoga teacher training taking place at the moment?
Yes, actually tomorrow is the graduation day. Oh, okay. They have just completed the 4 weeks program, which is the foundational program. Okay. So, it's the first one of the year, 2018. And then in February we have another one. And we have several courses which goes throughout, and there are advanced course also when people return. After attending the 200 hours, they return for further studies. So usually there are people coming and going throughout. Yeah.
Okay, amazing. And how has the course gone? Has it gone very well? Were there some difficulties, or how did it go?
Yeah, that's the idea. See, when people think about studying yoga, and a lot of times when we see a lot of advertising for yoga teacher training programs, we feel that the majority offer something more like what looks like as a 5-star kind of spa-like activity. And where people go there, relax a lot, and there's a lot of pampering. So it seems that everything is just made to make you comfortable and relaxed. But the idea actually of retreat, and sometimes people say, "Oh, I don't want to do a teacher training; I want to do a retreat." And but if you really look, what is the meaning of the word retreat? It has to do with departing, withdrawing. And departing, withdrawing from what? It's from your daily activities, the things that you normally do in your daily life. And then you dedicate some time for spiritual studies. Yeah. And this requires some amount of detachment and of the environment suitable for that. And the word retreat has to do with this, with the period of time that you take for introversion, for meditation, for self-study, trying to search for some deeper understanding of life. And so that's what yoga has to do. Okay. So it has to do with this period of time, with this effort that you put in this direction, and also with the environment which suits. So the word retreat also refers to a place like a sanctuary, a refuge. So when people come to a teacher training program in an ashram environment, the idea is that you have the minimum of comfort and basic everything which you need as a basic for your staying here is there. So you have the proper routine, a proper food, and the environment is suitable for the study of the concepts and principles which goes with the philosophy. So everything is set in a way that the student has that immersion experience, and that's how yoga has been taught throughout the age. So you take that time, you separate that. So one undertakes this kind of program. Of course, it's not something that it requires a bit of effort. It requires that one puts some detach from some things and leave some things aside. Go through a special kind of food. So of course some difficulties arise if you introvert yourself, if you start staying quiet, and before you are used to go out and have all kinds of food, and maybe you have coffee, and then you're not used to vegetarian food. So when you have to abstain from this for some time, sometimes difficulties arise. But that's part of actually which allows allows for the growth. So when people complete the program, although they went for some kind of difficulties and they face a bit of one problem here or there, but the entire, and the overall experience at the end, usually people describe as uplifting, as, life-changing and eye-opening experience. So we are happy when people complete the program successfully, and when they leave, either they just have that for themselves as, something which help them to grow personally, spiritually, and some of them are interested in sharing what they have learned here. So then that's why a teacher training program covers the methodology of imparting yoga education and teaching as well. So basically this is the idea of what is ashram and what is yoga being taught in a traditional way, in a classical way, classical yoga.
So talk to me more about you say it's a vegetarian diet there. So why is this important when studying yoga to adopt a special diet?
You see, the focus of yoga, or the goal of yoga, is to lead us to a higher state of consciousness. In other words, we could say that we want to purify our mind from certain defects like anger, hatred, and jealousy, lust. These are the defects that we want to completely eradicate out from our system so that we can live a better life. So, food that becomes a part of your body, we could rather say that the physical body is nothing, but it is just the modification of food. So, if we are eating, certain things that instigate anger, aggression, they would not be helpful in our path of meditation, self-reflection, and contemplation. So we want to eat food according to what the ancient yoga scriptures have prescribed to us as practitioners. So in yoga, there is this specific term, we call it as sattvic diet. Sattvic means pure, cleansing, balancing, healing. So we want to eat a diet that promotes healing and purification, not only at the physical level, but at the mental level. What we do here in the teacher training is that we don't just blindly follow the vegan diet or the vegetarian diet, but we educate our students. We give them information, scientific information, ethical information, information related to the environment. We let them experience the entire diet throughout the month so that they can undergo healing. And that's when, after a month, when students have this diet, they live this routine, they are able to get rid of many, many mental, physical issues that are deeply seated. And that's when a lot of students decide to go completely vegan after our teacher training course. And then they go back home, inspire the community, the people over there. So we have got amazing feedback because of the diet that we follow. And we have an Ayurvedic style of cooking as well, where we incorporate certain spices, the way we serve the students, the entire approach towards food and food ethics is looked after.
Okay.
So it's a very important point.
Do you look at the in Ayurveda the different doshas and eating for different?
Right.
Oh, okay. Very
Yes, we have an advanced course. So after the 200 hours, the returning students can take an Ayurveda course with me. Mm-hmm. It is a 2-week course, quite a detailed course. In this course, we focus on the body types. We also understand certain foods that would suit or not suit our body, specific ways of cooking and knowing how to add certain spices, a lot about eating intelligence, a lot about body, how to cleanse it, how to understand yourself. And this is quite a deep course, quite an informative course. It's a 2-week course that happens almost 2 to 3 times in a year.
Okay, so you have the 200-hour yoga teacher training is the basic, the foundation.
Right.
So from this, then they can take a 300-hour, like an advanced, yeah.
Yes. And Ayurveda is a part.
Actually, people who come to our place after undertaking the 200 hours program, then the advanced programs can be taken in separate modules. So we have like a 300 hours program, which is then divided in 3 modules of 100 hours, and then we have a 500 hours advanced program on yoga therapy, which is divided also in, then it's more clinical, so then it's more yoga for several lifestyle disorders, so heart condition and diabetes, respiratory disease, orthopedic disease, stress management. So in total, people can in fact complete 1,000 hours of formal education with our school here.
It's quite academic, organized, systematized, in a very thoughtful way, and the credit goes to our teachers, Hansaji from the Yoga Institute. A very scientifically organized course with a very, very solid teaching methodology.
One thing that people sometimes don't understand, but it's very interesting that because when you say you teach yoga, the most common question is that what kind of yoga you teach, what style of yoga.
Yes.
And it's difficult for us to reply because actually we don't even talk of yoga in terms of style.
There's
it's
so
not
many
just
styles today.
Yeah. I say like you don't have a right answer because the question is fundamentally wrong. So we teach yoga as as a holistic way of life, and as a classical yoga, as a traditional yoga means like it's nothing that we have actually created, so I'm not founder of any particular style or this and that. We share what we have learned from our teachers. Okay. So these yoga imparted from thousands of years, which goes back into the Vedic tradition and then includes study of scriptures, which was delivered in Sanskrit, and asanas, in fact, are part of Hatha Yoga, which is the physiological yoga, where one is not looking into just physical exercise, but in Hatha Yoga you have the entire physiological training. So you have cleansing techniques, the dealing with the pranayams, which is actually the regulation of the prana, bioenergy in the body. So all this is part of Hatha Yoga, and Hatha Yoga is part of the entire path of holistic health and spiritual development. So we don't talk of yoga in terms of style or in terms of types of yoga. So we teach yoga in its entirety.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah, correct.
So if a student comes along on your yoga teacher training course, like what's a typical day? What do they expect? What can they expect?
Well, we have our timetable is very tight. So the idea of coming to the ashram, it's actually that you follow a particular routine. So we will start in the morning with the meditation and follow with asana practices. Then breakfast, and then we go into philosophical studies and other practices of Hatha Yoga, as I said, some cleansing techniques like Jalaneti, how to clean your nasal passage with saline water, and these you are running through the morning time. So then there is the proper time again for the lunch, which you see all this when I say breakfast, when I say lunch. Of course, it's already part of also the experience.
Yeah.
And then when we have a guided relaxation after the lunchtime, and then we continue depending on the day of the week, and depending on the week you're going to have other studies on philosophy or also on methodology, something anatomy. All this also of course is included. Normally during the first 2 weeks of the program, people go into practicing, learning, and then immersing in the studies of yoga. And the second 2 weeks of the program, after they have already experienced and they have gone through a good amount of study and practice, then there is the entire methodology of imparting what they have also learning here. So the second 2 weeks of the program involves the teaching practice. So they get into groups, they teach each other, they teach a class, and not only teaching asanas. I tell people, when people come to our program, they will not be qualified and certified to be an asana instructor. Okay. But they will be certified and qualified to be a yoga educator. So how to share yoga in a broad way, how to introduce the other concepts, the other practices that they have learned here. So how they can also be able, to share this with their community, with their friends, with their family, sometimes in a personal way, or maybe in a professional way, because the certificate, of course, is valid to be for anyone to teach yoga in any part of the world.
Okay. And how many people do you usually have on the course? And are there various levels of experience? Do you get people who've only been learning yoga for a year, or are most people more experienced? Or
exactly. Actually, there is a lot of. It's a very mixed. The group is always very mixed. Some people come with the intention of just experience for themselves. Some people want to come with the intention actually of becoming a yoga teacher. Yeah. You have very young people, like sometimes even 16 or 17 years old, and we have people also coming, about 55 or 58 or 60 years old. So, and they also are in the same group. So we use some kind of a methodology that we use is actually allows for this diversity. To actually take place. We don't have a requirement. You're going to find a lot of programs which is say you should have 2 years of experience in yoga. But what they meant is that someone should be practicing asana or should have an athletic body or be flexible so as to undertake that physical training that we are teaching. But as for us, yoga not being exclusively some physical practice. So we don't think that an athlete, someone which is fit physically, we know that this person not necessarily is more able to actually understand yoga and implement yoga in their lives and also share yoga with others. So we don't have a requirement in this sense. So what is required, someone having the motivation to and the time which is required as it is an ashram environment, so that they should prepare themselves a bit in advance. So they come, stay here, and then they follow their routine. They go to the studies, go to the training with with a focused mind, keeping a positive attitude, and usually at the end we have very good results and good feedback from most people.
And this is another question about Chiang Mai. Why do you think you decided on Chiang Mai? Like JEENAL said, she came and fell in love with it, but was it what was it exactly that made you choose it as the home for Wise Living Yoga?
The weather condition here is very, very good. So that's why we see so many expats from all over the world. Maybe Canada, Australia, a lot of European countries. So a lot of expats want to come and settle over here because of its lovely climate condition. And it's lush green.
Here in
it's beautiful. It's beautiful landscape, and the weather is very favorable for yoga studies. This is one of the reasons. Apart from it, I really like this Buddhist mentality that the people of Chiang Mai have, especially the North Thailand. The kind of peace and the people show so much of love and respect that really, made me fall in love with Chiang Mai. It's the people. Here in the village where our ashram is. The people are so beautiful, so loving, so kind. When you walk through the market, they're smiling, they're happy. So it makes you feel at home.
Yes.
You feel at home over here. And the students also love it so much over here because of the nature, the environment, the people, the food. Everything is amazing.
Thailand is the land of smiles, as they say. So it's so good to be welcomed by people. You meet people on the streets, and then you just relate with them in a very spontaneous way, and they're always there to help you. English is not that difficult. The infrastructure it's quite good, and especially when you compare with the price of things. Food is very diversified and also cheap. So
airport is amazing.
Yeah, we have international airport, and so we find, like, as we have traveled a bit throughout Asia, before we settle here, we find that Thailand, it's very good balance between East and West. Like you don't feel so much out of place if you have not traveled too much. So, and when people come here, they usually find they feel comfortable. So we felt at home here, and then we hope we can stay.
Chiang Mai is a very special place on earth. It's a beautiful city. It's very down to earth at the same time. It is so vibrant and colorful, with a lot of intelligent things going on in the city, very intelligent concepts and people. And when you walk around in the market, like the Saturday market, you can see that all the products that are sold, they are so beautiful. And when I say beautiful, it's just they're sustainable, they're ecological, and I think Chiang Mai itself has this, uniqueness, which makes it very different from the other cities in the world.
Yeah, yes. Amazing. Well, I lived there as well, so I know, I understand all of what you're saying. It drew me in. So. And how long have you been there in Chiang Mai? How many years now has the ashram been there?
Well, we came first, was 2010, 2011. We came to visit, like, as tourists, and we started to like much. And then in 2011, we started to already conduct programs, but we are not really fixed in here. So we would have some place to host us. Okay. And, we looked for a place where had some kind of nature around, some garden, which was not so, much central and something like this. So we conduct a few courses, but, in this process, we were actually finding that if we could find a place which would be dedicated exclusively for the teaching of of our programs, it will be very suitable. So we start looking around. And then in this place where we are here in Doi Saket, we moved in 2013. So it's completing now about 5 years that we are actually settled here.
I think I just met you when it was when you'd found it, maybe, or just at the very beginning. You thought, I think I remember you said, we found the place.
Yeah, that's right. It was something like 5-6 years ago that we met first time.
Okay. Final question: what is the most rewarding thing for you in your job? I don't know whether you can call it a job. It's not really in your passion, but what do you find most rewarding? Like, you have the graduation tomorrow, so is that the best part of the month, or?
Well, in a very beautiful way, yoga enforces you to follow what you teach. So it would be very hypocritical of me to say that I'm a teacher, but I don't practice. So every time when I'm teaching, it reminds me that I should be practicing it. Okay. I should be doing it myself. In fact, as a teacher, I should be doing it 100 times more than my students. And that's what makes me a good teacher then. And not only a good teacher, but a good learner of yoga. So this aspect that keeps us pushing, to be better humans, to be better learners, to be better teachers, is something very rewarding. It gives you a lot of contentment that every single day you wake up and you have a goal in life, and yoga being so broad, it being so objective that it encompasses all the aspects of life. If you talk about animals, environment, human ethics and integrity, about economics, sociology, psychology, everything is found in yoga. And when you study the scriptures, they are so deep. They are full of knowledge, and pursuing this kind of a path that is meaningful for humanity is something that gives you a lot of contentment. And seeing that in your students, when they pass out from here, they take this gem of knowledge and they take it to their family, friends, to the entire world. Now we have a huge alumni group of more than 500 students, and they have been spreading yoga, helping people, right from people who are sick, children, people at rehabilitation centers, prisoners, women going through domestic violence, all kinds of people they have been helping. So seeing this progress that is not only limited to you and me, but it extends and expands to the whole of humanity.
Okay.
This is something I love about this work, and I would like to keep on continuing this work together. So
yeah, it's very rewarding to after people come and stay here, so many groups and people come and go, and sometimes we don't hear from many people for a long time, but once in a while you get an email from someone who attended the course, sometimes 1 year or 2 years before, and then they just start sharing how maybe they say, oh, initially it was difficult this or that, but then sometimes you get a feedback from people where nowadays they are saying how yoga has helped them in their personal lives, and then how the change in their personal lives have also influenced their families or their friends, and a lot of times these people, when they want to take yoga in a professional way to teach also, so you see an exponential effect, because they learn with us, and then as teachers now there are other people coming and learning with them. So I think it's rewarding to see this spreading, and especially when we talk in traditional yoga, because it's not so many schools which focus on trying to bring this entirety of understanding of what yoga is and yoga lifestyle and philosophy, and so when we see people actually going out and then having positive change in their lives and also influencing positively other people's lives, I think this is the most rewarding. And so it feels like gives motivation for us also to continue sharing.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, thank you so much for speaking with me today. If we're in Chiang Mai, I'll definitely come and have a look at the ashram.
Sure. Come. Yeah.
Sure.
Come to Chiang Mai and pay us a visit. Stay for some time. The idea is that we want people to come, and we allow people to stay, for 2-3 days if they want just to experience the routine. Set a slightly different program for them, and but they can come and experience the ashram life for 1, 2, 3 days, or in fact we have 1 week programs also and 2 week programs, which is the first week of the 200 hours or the first 2 weeks of the 200 hours. So if someone completes these first 2 weeks, you accumulate 100 hours. So you can come in a future time to attend the last 2 weeks. So you complete the entire program. So we allow for all this. Yeah.
Okay. Right. Perfect. Okay. Brilliant. Thank you very much. And when does the next teacher training starts? The graduation's tomorrow, and then what's the date of the one in February?
We will have 1 week break, and then the next program starts on 11th February.
11th of February.
Which is Sunday. Yeah.
Okay. Well, good luck for that one, and thank you very much.
Thank you. Nice talking to you, Nikki.
Okay.
All the best.
Bye bye. Thank you.
Namaste.
Bye bye.